Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with chapter number 1, that is Rise of British Rule in India. See, you all have learned history, and if we think about that, then the most who has ruled over India were Britishers. Many of the people of different countries have come over here, had come over here, but India was ruled by most by the Britishers. So, we'll study over here the rise of British rule. When they came over here, they came for business purpose. But what and how they started ruling over India, we'll learn about this. So, since the ancient time, India has enjoyed an incomparable position in the world. We all know that India was known by the name Golden Bird. इंडिया बहुत ही रिच कंट्री थी एंड इट was a very rich country. There were a number of kings having much properties, gold, everything. And this was a reason why many of the European countries were attracted towards India. So, it was very rich and the whole world, due to its economic, cultural and religious inheritance, was wanting to come over here. Due to the economic prosperity and culture inheritance, people from different nations of the world came to India. There was lot of demand of Indian spices. Kerala is a state which is the most famous in India for its spices. Spices का मतलब होता है मसाले, what we use in preparing food. Silk cloth and indigo in European countries. The trade between India and Europe was carried out through a land route and sea route, and at the center of this route was Istanbul, Constantinople in Turkey. टर्की इज़ अ कंट्री ऑफ एशियन कॉन्टिनेंट. एशिया और यूरोप को जॉइंट करता है, वहाँ पे ये कंट्री है. एंड इस्तांबुल, ये जगह तो आपने कई सारी मूवी में भी देखी है. इस्तांबुल एक ऐसी सिटी है जो दो कॉन्टिनेंट के बीच में बटी हुई है. देयर इज़ अ बिग पूल. इफ़ यू हैव सीन द मूवी टाइगर जिंदा है, yes, in that movie they had shown Istanbul, and in many more movies. There is a big pool. The west side of the pool comes in. If you go on the west side, then it is Europe continent, and on the eastern side it is Asia. So that was the land from which Europeans used to come to India. But something happened and that land route and sea route was closed for Europeans to come to India. After the conquest of Constantinople in 1453 AD by Turkish Muslims, the sea route through Constantinople was closed for Europeans. And since they could not do without spices, Europeans felt compelled to discover a new sea route. And this was the thing for the beginning of a new geographical discoveries. कैसे भी करके इंडिया को ढूंढो. See, think about, this is a pride for us कि इंडिया इतनी डिमांड में कंट्री थी, इतनी रिच कंट्री थी कि पूरी दुनिया इंडिया में आना चाहती थी. बट इट वॉज इवन अ फॉल्ट ऑफ, वी शुड एक्सेप्ट इट, ये हमारा ही फॉल्ट है कि हम पर आकर कोई रूल करके गया. सो नाउ विल सी डिस्कवरी ऑफ सी रूट टू इंडिया विथ इंस्पिरेशन, एंकरेजमेंट एंड इकोनॉमिक हेल्प फ्रॉम अ पोर्चुगीज किंग प्रिंस हेनरी. पोर्चुगल नाम की कंट्री इज़ अ वेल नोन कंट्री. इट इज़ अ कंट्री ऑफ यूरोपियन कॉन्टिनेंट ऑन द वेस्टर्न साइड ऑफ यूरोप. अगर आप लोग फुटबॉल देखते हो देन यू माइट बी नोइंग द कंट्री नेम पोर्चुगल. इट इज़ वेरी फेमस फॉर द गेम फुटबॉल. Some brave people began efforts to discover new sea route. Many men tried to discover sea route to India, namely Bartholomew Dias, who discovered the Cape of Good Hope. Cape of Good Hope is the place of South Africa country. See, when he was in a search of India, he started his journey from Europe, and from Atlantic Ocean he reached at a land. He was not getting a land, and when he saw the land, he gave its name Cape of Good Hope. With the economic assistance from the King of Spain, Christopher Columbus began his adventure of discovering a new sea route, which again came at a stop at an island presently known as West Indies, situated in Atlantic Ocean. Now, we have studied in GK that Christopher Columbus found out America. Yes, that is a fact that उन्होंने अमेरिका को find किया था. But throughout his life, he was not knowing the fact that the land he found out was America and not actual India. He was actually in search of India, and throughout his life he believed that he is a person who found out India. But it was not India, it was West Indies, which is a country of North America continent. Actually, people of that land are red Indians, and that's why it might be that's why he thought that he found out India. So, and that clarification was made by Amerigo Vespucci, and that's why that country is known as, that land is known as America today. So, this is how number of people started a search for India, but it was still not in success. So, now we will see who actually found out India. India was actually found out by a person named Vasco da Gama. We have known the name Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama is a person from a country named Portugal. See, now here in a map you can see a C लिखा हुआ है, that is a place of Istanbul, Constantinople. वहाँ से लोग पहले इंडिया में आया करते थे, from that route, from Baghdad, and then they used to come to India, but that land route was closed. So then they started their new journey, and over here Portugal, on the left hand side it is written Portugal, और वहाँ पे लिखा है लिस्बन. लिस्बन से उन्होंने शुरू किया, and then Bartholomew reached at Cape of Good Hope, but he is not a person who found out India. वहाँ तक की जर्नी उसने find out की थी, and then a person who again came over there and then further exceeded, and that was a person called Vasco da Gama. He came over there and then he went to Mozambique. It is also a country of Africa, and from there he reached to Calicut. Calicut is a state, it comes in state Kerala. It is a place in Kerala. So, this is how, these are the routes shown in the map. So, the Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama discovered a sea route to India in 1498 AD. When he reached Calicut in the western coast of India, he was welcomed by then King Semurin and allowed to carry out business there. Thus, this is considered as an important event in the world, as this opened the doors for Europeans to come to India. See, now it is very important event because this is the year, and this is an incident from where European got a way to come to India.
Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese explorer who was commander of the first ships to sail from Europe to India. Vasco da Gama was born sometime between 1460 and 1469 in Sines on the southwest coast of Portugal. Little is known about Vasco da Gama's early life, but it is believed that he was a student of mathematics. On 8th July 1497, da Gama led a fleet of 4 ships with a crew of 170 men from Lisbon. The distance he and his crew travelled from Europe to Africa, India and back was greater than what it would have been around the equator. Da Gama's trip to India consisted of several stops along the way in Africa. He also encountered problems from Muslim traders who did not want any interference with their already profitable trade routes. He finally reached Calicut on 20th May 1498. At first, Vasco da Gama and his trading was well received, but this only lasted a very short while. The king ordered him to pay a customs tax as would any other merchant. This strained the relations between the two. Da Gama left Calicut on August 1498. His expedition beat all expectations after he brought in cargo that was worth 60 times more than the cost of the expedition. He also took with him hostages which consisted of a few Nayars and 16 Mukuva fishermen. When Vasco da Gama arrived in Lisbon in September 1499, after having lost half his crew to scurvy, he received a hero's welcome and was rewarded well by the king. He was also bestowed with the title of Admiral of the Indian. On the 12th of February 1502, da Gama led the 4th Portuguese Armada to India, consisting of 15 ships and 800 men, with the objective of enforcing Portuguese interests in the East. On this voyage, da Gama killed hundreds of Muslims, often brutally, in order to demonstrate their power. From this trip, he returned triumphantly with silk, gold, and an established settlement. Vasco was sent to India again in 1524 to replace an incompetent viceroy. He contracted malaria not long after arriving in Goa and died in the city of Cochin on Christmas Eve. The state of Goa and the city of Cochin still exhibits the cultural influence of the Portuguese who landed as merchants and conquered these lands soon after. The Portuguese overseen territories of Goa existed for about 450 years before it was annexed by India in 1961.
Now we'll study the arrival of Europeans to India, the arrival of the British and the establishment of trade centers. See, Portuguese were the first to come to India, to arrive to India. Now, but many of the Europeans also had come to India, seeing the success of Portugal. Within a span of 100 years, Portuguese took control of several territories like Diu, Daman, Goa, Cochin, Malacca, etc. Inspired by Portuguese success in trade, the Dutch from Holland. Holland is a country of Europe. It is also known by the name Netherlands. And the Danish from Denmark. Denmark is also a country of Europe. Arrived in India for trade. The English traders established the East India Company to carry out trade with India. In 1600 AD, when Queen Elizabeth of England gave permission to the East India Company to carry out trade with the eastern countries, the first ship under the leadership of Captain William Hawkins arrived in Surat. But due to the dominance and opposition from Portuguese, they were not allowed to establish their trade there. But finally, the East India Company got permission from the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, and thus the British East India Company established its first trade center in Surat in 1613 AD. Initially, the company established its trade center in Surat, Bharuch and Ahmedabad. See now, 1600 AD में ब्रिटिशर्स को पहली बार परमिशन मिली to do their business in India, and they left India in 1947. So they controlled India, they ruled over India for nearly 350 years. And it was in 1600 they first came, but they got a permission in 1613. वहाँ से उन लोगों ने बिजनेस करना शुरू किया, but they were just doing business at that time. But then with the span of time they started ruling on India. We'll study how and why they started ruling on India. But due to the strong presence of Maratha in this region, the company sensed danger of its existence and hence moved towards the south and east direction, where they had set up their centers in Machilipattam, which is in Andhra Pradesh, St. George, which is in Chennai, and Fort William, which is in Kolkata. Mumbai became their headquarters in 1867 AD. See, Marathas, Shivaji Maharaj ka, he was not one who was ready to do business with the Britishers. They were having dangers from these people. So where these people were there, they were not doing business over there. The French East India Company arrived in India for trade in 1668, very later than Britishers and Portuguese, and eventually set up their trade center in Mahe, Karaikal, Puducherry, Chandranagar, Machilipattam, etc. In the 18th century, the English and the French were constantly busy establishing their rule in the entire world and conquering more territories. Between 1746 and 1763, there were 3 Karnataka wars between the French East India Company and the British East India Company in India, which the French East India Company lost, thus making easy the expansion of British East India Company. Now think about this, 2 different countries, 2 different companies doing business in India and fighting over in India for their business to for the enlargement of their business and for their rule. And then too we people were not able to stop this and were not able to understand the things, and this Britain started ruling on India. Thus at the end of this battle for power, the Portuguese were left with Diu, Daman and Goa, while the French had their trade centers at Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal, Pondicherry. Meanwhile, the Dutch had to leave forever. So, these were the cities. If you go in पुडुचेरी में भी अगर आप जाओगे और एनी द प्लेस वेयर दिस पीपल हैव रूल, इफ़ यू सी द कंस्ट्रक्शन इट इज़ क्वाइट डिफरेंट दैन इंडियन आर्किटेक्चर. सी दीव एज इट इज़ इन गुजरात, आप लोगों ने काफ़ी सारों ने दीव तो देखा ही होगा. If you go to Diu and if you observe the architecture of Diu properly, you will understand that it is not an Indian making style. As foreigners have ruled over there, the architecture of that particular place is quite different. So, the places where these people have ruled, they have developed their own style of architecture, their own style of thinking. Now, we will see Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey was the first incident from where British got some power in India. So, how and why it happened? Sirajuddaula karke king tha who was from Bengal. See, many people were not liking him because of his nature. He was having nature like impulsive, not listening to anyone. बहुत ज़्यादा सोच, बहुत दूर की सोच नहीं था. So many people were having complaint with him. During his period, ब्रिटिशर्स ने क्या किया, एक फोर्ट्रेस वहाँ पे बनाया. फोर्ट्रेस का मतलब होता है किला, विदाउट द परमिशन ऑफ द किंग. सो एज द किंग वॉज नॉट रेडी फॉर दिस, दैट विदाउट माई परमिशन आप लोग यहाँ पे कुछ कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हो नहीं. सो वॉट ही डिड, ही ब्रोक दैट फोर्ट्रेस. सो नाउ व्हेन दिस न्यूज़ ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को मिले, देन एट दैट टाइम रॉबर्ट क्लाइव along with his army reached Bengal in order to help the Kolkata trade center. वहाँ के ट्रेड सेंटर को हेल्प करने के लिए वो वहाँ पे गए. He was very confident कि वो उनके साथ जीत जाएंगे. But in spite of the army of East India Company being strong, they realized that it was not easy to defeat the Nawab's army because नवाब के पास एक बहुत बड़ी आर्मी थी. So what Robert Clive did then? He resorted to treachery. ट्रेचरी का मतलब होता है बीट्रेल, किसी को धोखे से हराना. सो अ कॉन्स्पिरेसी वॉज प्लान इन ऑर्डर टू डिफीट द नवाब, इन विच द नवाब्स कमांडर इन चीफ मीर जाफर एंड शेख अमीचंद वर कोएक्स टू ज्वाइन. अब इन्होंने ये दो इंसानों को अपने जाल में ले लिया था एंड इनकी वजह से नवाब ये बैटल ऑफ प्लासी हार गए थे, बिकॉज विद इन हाफ अ डे पूरी बैटल ख़त्म हो गई थी. इफ़ यू रिसेंटली यू पीपल हैव सीन महाभारत, तो कमांडर इन चीफ सेनापति, उस सीरियल में हम देखा सेनापति, द रोल ऑफ सेनापति और द रोल ऑफ कमांडर इन चीफ इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, और उन्होंने उसको ही अपने पास ले लिया था. सो व्हेन ही वाज नॉट रेडी टू फाइट, अ बैटल जस्ट एंडेड इन हाफ अ डे. On the pretext that Nawab is unnecessarily harassing the people, a war was declared at a ground near a village named Plassey. The Battle of Plassey was fought on 23rd June 1757 AD. The Battle of Plassey is situated 38 km from Murshidabad. Murshidabad is a place of West Bengal. According to the plan, Mir Jafar lost the battle. Sirajuddaula was defeated. Due to Robert Clive's treachery, the Battle of Plassey ended in just half a day. क्योंकि पहले से ही पता था कि वो लोग ये जीतने वाले, because Mir Jafar was not going to fight. And thus, the Battle of Plassey ended in half a day, and the company as a result got a freehold over 24 parganas. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal. Thus, the foundation of the company's rule in India was laid with the Battle of Plassey in 1757. This was an incident from where Britishers got a power. They just laid their foundation. तब तक वो सिर्फ बिजनेस करते थे. They were not having any rule in India. But because of this, they got a power. They got a rule. So it is हमारी कमियों की वजह से ही Britishers हम पर राज कर सके. Because of the problems, internal problems with the people of India, they were able to rule over India. Now we'll see a short video on Battle of Plassey.
You will be able to list the factors that led to the Battle of Plassey, list the reasons for the defeat of Siraj-ud-Dowlah in the Battle of Plassey. The East India Company felt that the large fee demanded by the Nawabs and the local rulers to carry on trade was unfair. They also felt that the enlargement of settlements, buying of villages and building of forts which were banned by the Nawab were necessary for the expansion of their trade. What the company wanted was a puppet ruler who would act in their favor. So they tried to replace the then Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, with one of his rivals. This angered Siraj-ud-Dowlah, and he ordered the company to stop interfering in his government's affairs. He also ordered the company to stop fortifying their settlements and pay their taxes. When the company failed to accede to his demands, the Nawab marched with 30,000 of his men and took control of Qasim Bazar and Calcutta Fort. He cut off all supplies and support to the company's ships. To aid the company, armed forces were sent from Madras under the leadership of Robert Clive. The company's naval fleet was also sent. Robert Clive defeated Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah at a place called Palashi in 1757 in the famous Battle of Plassey. The main reason for Siraj-ud-Dowlah's defeat was Mir Jafar, one of his commanders, who turned traitor and never fought the battle. Robert Clive had promised Mir Jafar that he would be made Nawab after Siraj-ud-Dowlah for his services. The Battle of Plassey was the company's first victory on Indian soil. We have learned that the East India Company tried to replace Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah with a puppet ruler. Siraj-ud-Dowlah took control of Qasim Bazar and Calcutta Fort. Armed forces under the leadership of Robert Clive were sent along with a naval fleet to fight Siraj-ud-Dowlah. Mir Jafar, one of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah's commanders, turned traitor and never fought the battle.
Now we'll study Battle of Buxar. The British made Mir Jafar the Nawab of Bengal under the different pretext and tried to extract plenty of wealth from him. Due to their greed to gain more power, the East India Company managed to dethrone Mir Jafar and made Mir Qasim the Nawab of Bengal. अब उन्होंने क्या किया, सिराजुद्दौला को निकाल दिया, उसकी जगह पे मीर जाफ़र को नवाब ऑफ बंगाल बना दिया एंड अलग अलग वजह से उसके पास से टैक्सेस लेते ही रहते थे. एंड देन व्हाट दे डिड, उनकी ग्रीड वहाँ पर भी ख़त्म नहीं हुई. दे वर हैविंग मोर लालच ऑफ गेटिंग मोर मनी. They again dethroned Mir Jafar and made Mir Qasim the Nawab of Bengal. But Mir Qasim proved to be more ambitious than Mir Jafar and thus became a threat for the company. Hence, Mir Qasim was removed and Mir Jafar was again made the Nawab. See, the sequence is like Siraj-ud-Dowlah, then Mir Jafar, then Mir Qasim, and then again Mir Jafar. Mir Qasim took refuge with the Nawab of Awadh. During this time, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam had come to Awadh. So all the three of them decided to join hand and fight the company unitedly and thus declared war. So who three got united? Mir Qasim, Nawab of Awadh and Shah Alam. At Buxar, the East India Company fought against the United Army on 27 October 1764, in which the United Army lost, army of Mir Jafar, Shah Alam and Nawab of Awadh. Thus, the company got Diwani right, that is right to collect revenue, right to collect tax from people of India, from to Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. सी लगान मूवी आप लोगों ने देखी है. लगान का मतलब ही होता है टैक्स. हाउ दिस पीपल यूज टू टेक टैक्सेस फ्रॉम इंडियन पीपल. कंट्री हमारी, चीज़ें हमारी, मेहनत हमारी, और फिर भी वो लोग हमारे पास से टैक्सेस लेते थे. So this is how the Battle of Buxar gave them the first right to collect taxes from India. So we'll see a video on Battle of Buxar.
The Battle of Buxar was fought on 22nd October 1764 between the forces under the command of the British East India Company led by Hector Munro and the combined army of Mir Qasim, the Nawab of Bengal, the Nawab of Awadh, and the Mughal king Shah Alam II. The battle fought at Buxar within the territory of Bengal was a decisive victory for the British East India Company. British troops engaged in the fighting numbered 7,072, comprising 857 British, 5,297 Indian sepoys, and 918 Indian cavalry. The Alliance army's numbers were estimated to be over 40,000. The combined army of Mughals, Awadh, and Mir Qasim, consisting of 40,000 men, were defeated by a British army consisting of only 10,000 men. The Mughal camp was internally broken due to a quarrel between the Mughal emperor Shah Alam II and Shuja-ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Awadh. Mir Qasim was reluctant to engage the British and went off collecting tribute. The lack of basic coordination among the three desperate allies was responsible for their decisive debacle. The prime victim, Shah Alam II, signed the Treaty of Allahabad that secured Diwani rights for the company to collect and manage the revenues of real estate, which form parts of the modern states of West Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh. The Treaty of Allahabad heralded the establishment of the rule of the British East India Company in one-eighth of India within a single stroke. The battles of Plassey and Buxar secured a permanent foothold for the British East India Company in the rich province of Bengal and secured its political ascendancy in the entire region.
So today we have seen of the rise of British rule, discovery of India, Battle of Plassey, and Battle of Buxar. All of you all of you have to read this in textbook also. Do the related question answer given in homework and do your work regularly. Thank you.